Hello. In an earlier segment of the same series, I tried to describe to you what Asha Murthy, my co-author, and I call the iConnected world, a new world of networks, relationships, and ubiquitous connections. I also spoke about leaders' futures mindset. I spoke about focused attention, collaborative spirit, and collective wisdom, the three dimensions of this mindset that help leaders release their better angels. Now it is time to talk about 5 ways of being, the virtues of being a leader. As I told you earlier, leadership in the iConnected world needs to be virtuous and needs to be purposeful. So for you to understand and practice these 5 ways of being becomes really important. Being present is about acting in knowledge of who you are. Knowledge of who you are is really about understanding the core of your individuality. Now, the core of your individuality is an integration of 3 strands. Your big 5 or your personality traits, which is really a genetic component. Then there is what is called the characteristic adaptations. These are the rules, the heuristics, the defense mechanisms you learn as you go through the rough and tumble of your life. And finally, there is this thing called the life story. Now, this is an intellectual concoction. It's a continuously updating life narrative that you create for yourself as you look back to your past, as you experience your present, and as you aspire to a future. When all these 3 come together, they make you. Knowing who you are, you next need to leverage it, to take action. Because human beings approach any challenge by acting. Now, there are 2 aspects to this action. The first, of course, is understanding what motivates you to approach any challenge and act at the peak of your abilities. This gets into the area of intrinsic motivation, of competence, of relatedness, of autonomy, and what these needs do to you and how they get you to be the best you can be in action. But there's another part to this, another conceptual strand about the experience itself. You need to understand which experiences get you to feel absorbed, get you to feel that you're doing something that has significance, that has meaning. Because once you understand those kind of experiences and focus on them, you will be in flow. You will be vitally engaged. The second way of being is being good. Being good at its core is about taking a strengths-based perspective to both personal and organizational change. The legacy view that people take when faced with challenges is to drill down to the root cause of failure. This is problem-centric thinking. What being good as a virtue argues is that you're much better off with possibility-centric thinking, where you try and find out the root cause of success in the positive core of an organization and its people. Because when you look for the root cause of success, you're likely to energize both your people and the organization to find brand new solutions to problems that were otherwise intractable. Being good also co-opts this whole area of positive psychology to argue that positive emotions do indeed lead to an authentic life. Evolution makes us very risk averse. And therefore, we end up preferencing negative emotions like fear, anger, disgust. But what positive emotions like awe, compassion, forgiveness, love, mercy, etc. do is that they have great adaptive benefits. They broaden our repertoire of cognition and action. And in doing so, they set us up to create transformative change in both our growth and development into the future. Being in touch is the third way of being. It takes you into the domain of emotions. Being in touch says that understanding and managing yourself and others requires you to connect to the heart. Cognitive competence, IQ, is enough to get you a ticket into the ballpark of work and play. But once you're there, what will distinguish you as a star, what will make you special as a leader, is the way you use your emotional intelligence and your social intelligence competencies. Emotional intelligence competencies get you to be self-aware and get you to be self-controlled so that you're able to allocate your attention strategically to things that matter, and so that you're able to energize your willpower by understanding your hot and cold cognition buttons. Social intelligence gets you into the domain of understanding others by understanding that core reality that emotions are contagious, and that if you really want to connect with somebody else, you need to move in time, place, and identity and become that other so you can understand what they're feeling, thinking, willing, and doing. And finally, there is the holy grail of leadership, which is this area of relationship management, which is about social intelligence used to build relationships of reciprocal trust, love, forgiveness, and connection. So when you look at that holy grail, the ultimate trail is compassion. Compassion that takes you from mere sympathy and mere empathy into this domain of complete reciprocity, where they is you. The fourth way of being is being creative. Regardless of your operating context, whether it's orderly and driven by the laws of cause and effect, or unorderly with dynamically emerging patterns, it is your creativity that will determine how well you understand your prevailing context and how well you're able to align your actions in the here and now to make sure you protect your future. In being creative, Asha and I have moved away from our preoccupation with the self to a new prism of the organization and its strategic context to view this way of being. The other thing we've done is to equate creativity with being different. With organizations and their strategies, there are these two ways of acting. One is acting to be different, and the other is acting to be better. Now we've determined that acting to be better is all about benchmarking and all about being the same, only a little better. Whereas operating to be different is all about creativity, because it's about innovating in order to be distinctive. Three big challenges have made sure that the iConnected world is very different from the industrial paradigm that preceded it. These are the challenges of sustainability, globality, and social media. Sustainable development suddenly made it clear that it was not enough to have competitive advantage at any cost. The environment, the planet, and its people counted for something. Globality told us that it was no longer the Western world that was going to be innovating. Innovation happened all the time, anywhere, and products, services, and technologies could move along networks from any country to any other country. And finally, social media said that in a world with the power of one, where a single person could be connected through ubiquitous networks and amazing relationships to a plethora of platforms, communications attained a brand new meaning. The fifth and final way of being is being inclusive. A potpourri of cultures, nationalities, religions, and mindsets already color the canvas of our homes, our localities, our communities, our organizations, and even our nations. Today's citizen is a world citizen, and culturally contingent leadership that can lead the planet is an empowering leadership practice in this era of global movement of people. Social diversity brings immense benefits and immense challenges. Leaders who are able to embrace it and enable it will find that it contributes to their productivity and their organization's well-being. Culturally contingent leadership also enables the finding of common ground in diverse communities. It determines whether you as a leader will be leading a cabal of disparate and unhealthy relationships, or you will be leading a unified group of people who understand and respect each other and understand and respect the diverse capabilities they bring to the table.